Well, welcome in everybody to the very first edition, the launch edition, if you will, of the new Vegas Sand Trap, right here coming from the fantastic facilities at the Rigel Studios, just a hop, skip, and a jump from the famous, world famous Las Vegas Strip. So happy to have you joining us. We're going to be here every Friday starting about noon. It's going to be a 1-hour broadcast, and we're going to continue to bring you some great interviews with guests from all over the country. We're going to have great in-studio guests like we have joining us today, and we'll get into that in a minute about. We've got a lot of good stuff in store for you as we grow the show, and this is our first one, so kind of bear with us a little bit. But as we grow the show, we're going to be adding newer segments. We're going to have coming on board Sean Cochran, who is a world-famous great fitness guy. He works with personal trainer for Phil Mickelson and for Matt Kuchar and a lot of other top PGA Tour professionals. He's going to be adding some fitness tips to the show, which is going to be great for you and hopefully help your game. We're also going to be getting a weekly swing tip from the folks at Swing U from Gary Gilchrist. Gary Gilchrist is a phenomenal teaching professional. He teaches just, you name him. He's teach so many PGA Tour champions and PGA Tour players, LPGA Tour players. He's a great guy from South Africa. I love his teaching. He heads Swing U, and he's going to be sending us a load of swing tips to help you, to help me become better players. So as we go along in the show, we're going to be adding more and more segments. And by the way, if you'd like to see something special on the show, if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments, you'd like to see another kind of segment, why don't you let us hear from us? Just golfgurulv@gmail.com. That's simple. Drop me a line and we'll try to reply back as soon as we can. By the way, we're going to be starting. Everybody loves winning stuff. Everybody loves winning stuff. And we're going to start having some contests on the show where you can win some great stuff by some of our great advertisers. And by the way, our show is being brought to you by Allergy Care Centers here of Southern Nevada. So if you have allergies, a little bit of allergies like I do, especially this time of year, they have the most phenomenal, unique program to help you get rid of your allergies. You'll see their commercial spot. You won't believe it. It's absolutely, absolutely awesome. So anyway, let me get going and let me tell you a little bit about our special in-studio guest sitting to my left. Glenn Lee is currently the general manager at TPC Summerlin, which is the home course, as you know, where we play our Shriners event, which just happened last month. Great event, by the way. Congratulations to Bryson DeChambeau. He's been there since July of 2018. So he kind of jumped right into the fire. He was a general manager and COO at Escondido Golf and Lake Club just under 6 years. That is a beautiful private 18-hole facility designed by my buddy Tom Fazio. Before that, he was the director of operations at Horseshoe Bay, and we were just talking about that. He was there for about 5.5 years, 8 years with Club Corps, finishing as their regional director of golf. And their former CEO, who I know you know, Glenn, Eric Elfitt, is a friend of mine, and he was a former guest on the show.
Excellent.
Yeah, good guy. And now they've got David Pillsbury,
who used to be with the tour.
Exactly right. So you should be kind of at home with those two guys.
Absolutely.
You know, he's originally from San Antonio, Texas, but we won't hold that against him. So you've got to know my good buddy Brian Gathright.
I know Brian very well. Brian's a great teacher, great guy.
He is a super guy. Him and Jimmy Walker were like yes. That's a whole other thing. He's been a PGA member since 1991, so you've paid a hell of a lot of dues, my friend.
Well, yes, sir, absolutely.
I noticed one thing too, Glenn, when I was going over your bio. You were an assistant professional at Royal Oaks Country Club, and whenever I hear of Royal Oaks, I think of one guy, and I think of one guy only, my buddy, again, former guest on the show, Randy Smith.
Randy's the best.
How good is Randy? Tell me a good Randy story.
Well, how much time do we have? You know, You want to know about that time where he put his foot in front of the lady that was swinging and told her not to hit his foot, and she hit it anyway? Or
No, ouch.
Don't swing outside. Don't come from outside in. He puts his foot right next to the ball. She comes right over the top of it, hammers into his ankle. But no, Randy's one of my mentors. Amazing.
He's amazing,
professional.
and he's taught a lot of good players.
He has taught a lot of great players. Absolutely.
And he's
Justin
been there a long
Leonard.
time.
He's been there, 35 years.
Yeah.
50 years. I don't know.
He's been there a long time.
He's been there a long time now.
Yeah, he's a super guy. So
sir.
we have some friends in Texas.
Absolutely.
We have some friends in Texas. What got you to Las Vegas? What got you to TPC Summerlin?
Well, I mean, obviously it's the PGA Tour and the allure of a great property like TPC Summerlin. And I've got some great friends at the tour, and John Huggins and Brad Williams and a bunch of the guys that have been with the tour and the TPC network for a very long time. And it's just being able to come into a great operation and continue to try and find new ways to innovate and recreate and really build. I feel like we've got one of the best clubs in the valley, and just taking that and we've got 425 amazing members and just making that experience for them so much more pleasurable and then finding a way to have fun every day playing golf.
Yeah. Obviously, you've played the golf course. How does it play compared to a lot of the other golf courses that you've played?
It's so unique. It's a golf course you can play every single day.
Every day.
And it changes. It changes with the wind direction. It changes with, it's a golf course that's designed for the ball to roll around and move around a bunch. And, you can hit a lot of different shots based on where you miss it to or where you hit it to. And obviously we miss it a lot to the wrong places sometimes, and you've got to get really creative. And that's what makes that golf course so much fun.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons. And I was a member early on. And one of the reasons that we joined was, like you said, it's a course you could play every day and not get tired of it. And to me, that is really one of the primary hallmarks of being a good golf course.
A great design, and you'll find shots where you may be having to chip with a hybrid or chip with a lob wedge, and so that's what makes it so unique. The green structures and around the greens, and just the overall layout. Yeah. It's not real demanding off the tee, but you can get in trouble if you want to.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. Any plans to put it in any LBJ Lake by chance? Like you had it. A lot of people don't know what we're talking about, but tell us about the old LBJ Lake.
LBJ Lake, a constant level lake there right off of Escondido, a great lake, and they just had all the horrible flooding here, 60 days ago, and certainly a challenge, and the lake still hasn't reopened since then, and so, but no, it's you be able to do something like that. But obviously we've been very fortunate at TPC Summerlin, and we've done a lot. Our golf course agronomist Dale Hahn works with the Water Authority, and we've done a lot of different things of really finding a way to go to desertscape a little bit more to save more water, and we're doing something every year to do that, and that's so important out here in the valley and in the desert.
Yeah, no, Dale does a great job. As I mentioned, you're 5.5 months out of TPC, jumping literally into the fire, getting ready to prepare for this PGA Tour event. What's going through your head? How busy do you become? Who are you working with? Are they picking your brains for ideas? What's the learning process, Glenn?
Well, and I was fortunate. I've done several. I've done some, I did Champions Tour event when I was at the Hills Lakeway, but never really a PGA Tour event. And you've got your checklist, and you go to your source. So Patrick Lindsay was the first call I made. Spent a lot of time with him, and then fortunate when inside the network we've got so many guys that we host 18 different golf tournaments across the network and tour events, and so I had a lot of resources, guys that I could call, other general managers, other head professionals, and got that information, but really was lockstep with Patrick and his team there with Shriners Hospital for Children, and they did an amazing job, and we had probably the best year we've had since Tiger won or since Tiger defended back in the 90s, and it was an amazing week. We had over 55,000 spectators.
Awesome.
Just an amazing champion. Bryson DeChambeau showed up on Sunday, introduced himself to everybody. The ultimate consummate professional. Saturday night, I've told the story a couple times. Saturday night, he's supposed to go to the hockey game. He's the last guy to leave the club by 30 minutes. He's still out there putting.
Wow, really?
And he doesn't make it to the hockey game on time. He gets there. He gets there, halfway through the first quarter, but then he rings the bell in the third quarter and messes up his hand. Gets a blister on his hand by being so rambunctious with the horn, and so then he was all taped up. And Sunday morning he was a little nervous.
Boy!
But probably settled him down a little bit and just he let him to focus and played an amazing final round and was a great champion. He stayed there and signed every autograph for every volunteer and for every kid that waited, and they waited till after dark, and he did not miss a step, and we are so excited. He's a great champion.
He's a very good champion, and I got to, as you mentioned, tip my hat to Patrick Lindsay, who's the tournament manager, of course, for getting such a great field. I mean, come on, Ricky Fowler and Tony Finau and Jordan Spieth and this new up-and-coming guy who I love, Cameron Champ, who we were talking about. It was a fantastic field for everybody.
It was an amazing field. Jim Furyk.
Kuchar.
Yeah. We had some great guys, and everybody loved the golf course. The golf course played well, and just an amazing field and great for Vegas golf.
Yeah, and it looked great on TV.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Absolutely great on TV. And again, hats off to you and to Dale and all of his staff. Let me ask you, Glenn. You've been playing golf a long time. What do you see or have you perceived as having been the biggest change in the game over the last decade?
I think, obviously, we're always going to go to technology, but I'm going to tell you the difference between technology and just some amazing athletes. These guys that are playing out there on tour now are in such great physical condition. They're prepared every single day. They're working out. They're bigger. They're stronger. I was looking at I met a bunch of the boys from the UNLV team last night, and I mean, they're 6'5", 6'6". There's not an ounce of fat on them, and they all hit at 350 yards.
Yeah.
It's just a different class, and now the technology also helps kind of compound that, and you've got golf balls that go a little bit further. You've got clubs that are lighter and can create a little bit more. Obviously there's controls on how fast that ball can come off the club head. But you've got some guys that are doing some amazing things with the equipment as well.
Yeah, that is so true. I agree with everything you said. And later on in the show, the bottom half, we're going to have our other special guest, Barney Adams, who you might know from Adams Golf and Title Eyes. Well, Barney is in the kind of the putter business, the putter shaft business, to be exact, which we're going to talk to him extensively about. And Barney's just a hell of a great guy. I've had him on my show before many times. But when it comes to getting better, everybody, and you see this, everybody likes to get to the range. They like to pound drivers. They like to hit fairway woods. To me, they're missing out on the scoring part of the game, and that to me is putting and chipping. How do you view that? What do you tell the people that come to you?
Well, the first question you ask them is, what are you trying to accomplish? And they say, I want to hit it further. Then we may go to the range, or we'll go to the gym. Yeah. If they say I want to play better, I want to lower my handicap, then we go to the putting green. We're going to spend time on the putting green, putting, chipping. Bunker play maybe a little bit, but it's really around that green. Yeah. And if we can make sure that they're getting those scoring clubs and they're doing better, and then we move back from there. We move out to the 50, 80, 100-yard range. And as they can get in and then they can score there, what we see is a guy hits at 350 yards, he's got a wedge in his hand, and it takes him 4 to get in the hole.
Exactly.
And so if we can get them from 100 yards in, then at that point, then we can go work on distance. Right. We can work on accuracy. We can work on some of those things. But it's really
it's very evident. The people that were out gallerying the Shriners event, they're early. They're seeing all these tour professionals on the putting green forever. So there's got to be something to it.
There's something to it. There's no doubt. And you got to get out there and they're practicing. And you know what? They're not doing anything innovative. They're all practicing the fundamentals.
Exactly.
The basic fundamentals. They've got lines on the ground. They got lines on their golf ball, and they're just practiced on making that same stroke over and over and repeating that same stroke.
Totally correct. Totally correct. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to step away, take a short break. We come back. We're going to have more with our special guest, Glenn Lee, the general manager at TPC Summerlin. And we're going to have a few more questions for Glenn, and then we're going to give our good friend Barney Adams a call. So stay with us. We're going to be back with you right after this. If you're like me and play golf, let's face it, you want to get better, right? Getting better at golf means taking lessons, and these days you have a whole lot to choose from when it comes to instruction. Or do you? It seems everyone and their brother teaches golf. That's why you need to know who and why you're investing your time and money with. If you really want to improve as a player, the choice is simple. PGA Tour instructor Mike Malaska, long recognized as one of the top instructors in the country, is helping players on every level, every day. The online learning center is offered by MalaskaGolf.com. Mike's common sense approach to learning will help you overcome the issues you face on the course every time you play. Simply put, in order to play better golf, you need to understand it. Named National PGA Teacher of the Year, Top 100 Teacher of the Year for over 20 years running, Worldwide Director of the Nicklaus Golf Academies, well, you get the picture. Mike is awesome. If you're serious about improving your game, get started now. Check out MalaskaGolf.com and see for yourself what this program will do for you and your game. MalaskaGolf.com. Look, if you play golf, chances are you've made a fairly sizable investment buying your golf clubs. So why take a chance on having your clubs damaged or even broken on the way to your next round of golf? Here's the perfect solution, known as the golf cradle. Using the golf cradle elevates the open end of your golf bag and suspends it off the floor of your truck or SUV and locks it in place. The golf cradle prevents the chance of damaging your club as a result of sudden stops, potholes, or swerving. Its weighted base and rigid bottom ensure the golf cradle stays put. Simply place your golf bag on the golf cradle and the protection arms automatically close down to secure your bag. Then simply tighten the straps and lock it in place. Simple as making a tap-in birdie putt. They have an awesome device like the golf cradle for under $40 to protect hundreds and maybe thousands of golf equipment is a no-brainer. Check them out and order at golfcradle.com. Don't wait, your clubs will love you for it. golfcradle.com. Oh, did I mention what a great gift this would be for the golfer in your life? golfcradle.com.
Did you know that over half our population suffers from allergies? There's a new, incredible way to treat allergies that don't involve shots, sprays, pills, or drops. All you do is brush your teeth. This new revolutionary treatment for allergies is only offered by Allergy Care Centers. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You simply go to their office and speak to one of their doctors about any allergy history you may have. Then a simple finger stick is done with a few drops of blood placed on your patient card. It is then sent out to their laboratory where it's analyzed. This state-of-the-art test analyzes for 180 potential allergens. After consultation, a prescription is sent to their pharmacy where a specialized serum is mixed with toothpaste and you simply start to brush your allergies away. It's amazing. So stop suffering with your allergies. This is great for patients of all ages, especially kids. Call Allergy Centers at 702-331-5230.
Since its much anticipated opening in 2008, Coyote Springs Golf Club has earned the reputation as one of the most memorable golf experiences you can have. And why not? This Jack Nicklaus signature course offers 18 signature holes along with some of the best playing conditions found anywhere. With its wide rolling fairways, deep bunkers, and large green complexes, it truly makes this course a challenge for every level of player. Trust me. Coyote Springs has been rated in the top 100 greatest public golf courses and ranked as one of the top places to play every year since its opening. An incredible practice area, short game area for pitching, chipping, and bunker practice area will help get you on your way to a great round. Located 50 miles from the heart of the Las Vegas Strip, Coyote Springs offers the ultimate in desert golf in a beautiful rural setting. Combine that with a fully stocked pro shop, full-service restaurant, all adds up to a great golf experience. Seeing is believing. Call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 to book your tee time. So if you want to play and experience one of Nicklaus's best designs, call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 or check them out online at coyotesprings.com. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the new Vegas SANDTRAP. I'm Dennis Silvers, along with our special guest, Mr. Glenn Lee, the general manager out at TPC Summerlin. Glenn, continuing our conversation, I get asked a lot on my other shows about handicaps and lessons and so on and so forth. Why aren't golfers getting better for the most part?
You know, I think the golf courses...
There might be a lot to it, but I mean generally.
You know, the golf courses are in better condition. They're maybe playing a little bit more difficult. The golf courses we built in the last century certainly are a lot more challenging.
Yeah.
And so that adds to it a little bit. They're not focused on that short game, and the serious golfers are, and they know what they're doing. I think life, you know, over the last 10 years has changed a lot. Everybody that's still working, they're working harder, and they don't have the time to dedicate to it. And I think the keys are if we can get them to focus on that short game and spend, you know, if they would spend just half as much time as they do on the range on the short game, you'd see their handicaps get better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You have a change in not only private clubs such as yourself, but I think also resort courses, public courses, in that millennials are becoming more and more of a bigger factor in the game. They're marketing to millennials a little bit different. They want to go out, they want the music in the carts, they're smoking the cigars, they're drinking a beer, and that's great. They're having fun. They don't care so much about what they shoot or the rules and so on and so forth. How is TPC Summerlin handling that as far as your membership?
Well, you know, we certainly adapt, and you have to adapt the rules. And you know, we don't have music on the range right now, but we allow them to have music in their golf carts. And you know, we have the big speakers, and certainly allow that. And we you know, we want to try and embrace the millennials, and certainly getting them involved. We've got a great team of instructors out there with Joe Mayo and Mario and the gang, and they do an amazing job, and they're doing some free clinics every month for our members just to kind of give them just a taste and of instruction. And I think it seems that we see less people taking instruction these days. There's a lot of other opportunities through the web and what have you, but I think less people are taking lessons.
I was going to ask you about that. Why do you think that the average weekend recreational player is really kind of gun shy to take lessons, and fewer people are? And you know what, Glenn, as you know, it's making it hard as hell on guys that teach golf full time for a living.
Well, they have to find different ways to do it. I mean, they're doing it through the internet. They're doing different types of web serving and with lessons and really kind of doing one-on-one video lessons where people may send in a video, and that's amazing in how it works, and certainly allows people from all over the world to work with some of the best instructors.
No doubt.
But I think it's getting over that hurdle and that, you know, that concern of change. And you know, human nature is we don't like change, and so sometimes when you go to take a lesson, you know that they're going to change something.
Right.
And you know, I spent an hour with Joe on last Saturday, and then all of a sudden he gave me a couple new positions to try and get the club into, and it's like, I haven't done that in like 25 years. How do you think I'm going to do that? But he's amazing,
and he works with Grant Waite, who's got probably one of the most awesome golf swings ever, you know, to have come on the planet. But you make a good point, and I know a lot of these guys personally that are doing online lessons, and they are very good instructors. But be that as it may, to me, I think it just makes it that much harder to learn the game unless I have you or Joe standing next to me, physically putting me in a position or showing me something with the club. I don't get that off of a video.
There's no doubt, and that's why it's so critical, and it's so important to have your instructor come see your instructor at least, you know, once a month or once every 6 weeks, and you're spending time, and then you go back and you've got a game plan you're going to go work on, and you know, the technology that we have, the TrackMan. I mean, today's the millennials, and most of them do embrace that part of it. They want to see, they want to know what their ball speed is. They may not know how far they hit it, but they know what their ball speed is. They know what their club head speed is. When I was growing up, I had no idea. And you know, I just know if it went in the fairway or if it didn't. And if I, you know, how many balls did I lose that day?
We can always grab some more out of the pro shop or something like that. What would you say, and other than the obvious, Glenn, the advantages of belonging to a club, and it's a great club, like TPC Summerlin, as opposed to playing public courses?
You know,
First thing people are going to say, oh, it's the expense. Dennis, it's the expense. It's a lot of money. And, give me some advantages.
well, there's always the expense, but the advantage is the network and the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis. You're always going to be able to find a game. You're always going to have people of kind of a like interest, hopefully likability. We can always pair you with somebody. If you're an 8 handicap, we can get you with a 7 and a 9, and we can get you with guys like that. And it's going to help you from that standpoint and meet some new people and maybe even make some business contacts if that's what you're trying to do. I think that's the advantage. And then the fact that we're going to conduct a lot of different competitions, a lot of different tournaments. We may do a men's day on Saturday. We may do a ladies' day on Wednesday. We may do a mixer where we're going to get everybody together and we're going to play a best ball. And then we're going to, for fun, we're going to go out there and do a 9-hole scramble.
Yeah,
and gives you a chance to really interact and meet other people. That's the advantage.
Yeah.
And the advantage of knowing that you may not always need a tee time. You're able to get out there and sometimes, in today's world, the public golf is fantastic. And certainly out here in the Valley and Las Vegas, public golf is amazing. But it's having that ease of being able to come into a safe environment and feeling really good about it and knowing all the people as you walk in, as you walk up and down the range, you know all the guys on the range.
Totally. And when I was there, you get your own foursome going every weekend. It's the camaraderie, it's the friendship. You know everybody, like you said. It just gives you a real comfortable feeling. Whereas if you don't have a foursome and you go out to a public course or whatever, not that there's anything wrong with it, you get paired with 3 strangers. But with a private club, it's a whole different feeling.
You know what you're going to play with, and you know what to expect, and expectation is a big deal about it.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's a big part of it, and just really being able to network and have fun.
Totally.
And knowing what you're getting. So
exactly right. Speaking of that, if somebody if you want information on joining TPC Summerlin, which is a great club, you could send me an email request at golfgurulv@gmail.com, or how about a phone number? And
you certainly can call the club or call me or email me at glenlee@pgatourtpc.com.
Okay.
And be happy to get you information. And if anybody's interested, or just call the club.
Yeah.
And now you're going to test me. I think the phone number is 702-256-0111.
It hasn't changed in 20 years since I was there. All right, with that, we're going to step away again, take a short break, and we'll have more, of course, with Glenn's going to be here all show. But we come back, we're having a great guy on the phone. Super, you could almost call him an icon in the game of golf already. He's just unbelievable, Mr. Barney Adams. So stay with us. We're going to be with you right after this. Since its much anticipated opening in 2008, Coyote Springs Golf Club has earned the reputation as one of the most memorable golf experiences you can have. And why not? This Jack Nicklaus signature course offers 18 signature holes, along with some of the best playing conditions found anywhere. With its wide rolling fairways, deep bunkers, and large green complexes, it truly makes this course a challenge for every level of player. Trust me. Coyote Springs has been rated in the top 100 greatest public golf courses and ranked as one of the top places to play every year since its opening. An incredible practice area, short game area for pitching, chipping, and bunker practice area will help get you on your way to a great round. Located 50 miles from the heart of the Las Vegas Strip, Coyote Springs offers the ultimate in desert golf in a beautiful rural setting. Combine that with a fully stocked pro shop, full-service restaurant, all adds up to a great golf experience. Seeing is believing. Call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 to book your tee time. So if you want to play and experience one of Nicklaus's best designs, call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 or check them out online at coyotesprings.com. If you're like me and play golf, let's face it, you want to get better, right? Getting better at golf means taking lessons, and these days you have a whole lot to choose from when it comes to instruction. Or do you? It seems everyone and their brother teaches golf. That's why you need to know who and why you're investing your time and money with. If you really want to improve as a player, the choice is simple. PGA Tour instructor Mike Malaska, long recognized as one of the top instructors in the country, is helping players on every level, every day. The online learning center is offered by MalaskaGolf.com. Mike's common sense approach to learning will help you overcome the issues you face on the course every time you play. Simply put, in order to play better golf, you need to understand it. Named National PGA Teacher of the Year, Top 100 Teacher of the Year for over 20 years running, Worldwide Director of the Nicklaus Golf Academies, well, you get the picture. Mike is awesome. If you're serious about improving your game, get started now. Check out MalaskaGolf.com and see for yourself what this program will do for you and your game. MalaskaGolf.com.
Did you know that over half our population suffers from allergies? There's a new, incredible way to treat allergies that don't involve shots, sprays, pills, or drops. All you do is brush your teeth. This new revolutionary treatment for allergies is only offered by Allergy Care Centers. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You simply go to their office and speak to one of their doctors about any allergy history you may have. Then a simple finger stick is done with a few drops of blood placed on your patient card. It is then sent out to their laboratory where it's analyzed. This state-of-the-art test analyzes for 180 potential allergens. After consultation, a prescription is sent to their pharmacy where a specialized serum is mixed with toothpaste and you simply start to brush your allergies away. It's amazing! So stop suffering with your allergies. This is great for patients of all ages, especially kids. Call Allergy Centers at 702-331-5230.
Look, if you play golf, chances are you've made a fairly sizable investment buying your golf clubs. So why take a chance on having your clubs damaged or even broken on the way to your next round of golf? Here's the perfect solution, known as the golf cradle. Using the golf cradle elevates the open end of your golf bag and suspends it off the floor of your truck or SUV and locks it in place. The golf cradle prevents the chance of damaging your club as a result of sudden stops, potholes, or swerving. Its weighted base and rigid bottom ensure the golf cradle stays put. Simply place your golf bag on the golf cradle and the protection arms automatically close down to secure your bag. Then simply tighten the straps and lock it in place. Simple as making a tap-in birdie putt. They have an awesome device like the golf cradle for under $40 to protect hundreds and maybe thousands of golf equipment is a no-brainer. Check them out and order at golfcradle.com. Don't wait, your clubs will love you for it. golfcradle.com. Oh, did I mention what a great gift this would be for the golfer in your life? golfcradle.com. All right, welcome back, everybody, to a continuing edition of our launch show on the New Vegas SANDTRAP. I'm Dennis Silvers, along with Mr. Glenn Lee, who's in studio with me, the general manager at TPC Summerlin. And you just saw that awesome commercial about the golf cradle. That's what we are going to be giving away, I think, starting next week. Every week we're going to give one to a listener. We've got to figure out exactly what we're going to do for the contest. But that's one of the prizes that you're going to be getting, so obviously well worthwhile. All right, let me tell you a little bit about, I alluded to Mr. Adams earlier in the show, but let me give you a little background on Barney. Of course, you know him as the founder of Adams Golf. He is the inventor of the very successful Tight Lies fairway wood. Probably a lot of you watching still have some in your bag. I hope he's the author of a really cool book called The Wow Factor, we'll talk about. After graduating college with a business management degree in 1962, Barney worked outside of the golf industry until 1983. Barney joined up then with another good friend of mine. You probably have heard of him, Mr. Dave Pelz, who was then in Abilene, Texas. Dave and his lovely wife now live in Austin. Adams Golf recently started when Barney bought out Dave Pelz Golf. And as they say, the rest is history. Then in 2012, Adams Golf was purchased by TaylorMade Adidas. Barney is the recipient of many awards, many recognitions, really too many to mention on the program here anyway. So let's get this thing kicked off and talk about your new venture, Barney, called BGT, Breakthrough Golf Technology. And first of all, welcome to the show. And tell us about why you got back into the golf business, for crying out loud, Barney.
Well, first off, thanks for the invite, and thanks again for not mentioning any of the awards. Nobody's interested in that stuff.
No, besides, I don't mention people who have more awards than I do. Okay, so I just want to tell you that. All right.
That's a good policy. Since I retired, I have been approached many times by people, with products and just a passion to get into the golf industry. And it was always awkward because I had to explain to them the facts of the golf equipment industry. And the primary fact is that it's a marketing business.
Right.
It's not a product business. It's a marketing business. And you have to be able to market with the big boys. And the big boys are Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade, and Ping, who among the four of them own, 75, 80% of the market share. And what's interesting is that 30 years ago, the same four companies were the leaders in the marketplace, just to show you how difficult it is to get into the business.
Right.
Then I was, later on, I was approached by a guy who I knew, and he was going to make putters. He wanted to get in the putter business. And I explained to him, once again, if you look at the history of the industry, no independent putter company has ever survived. They've either sold out to another investor or to a bigger company or gone on the internet. But it's not that the putters were terrible or even slightly better or whatever. It's the cost of getting the message out. So I just advised him not to do it. In the course of conversation, he mentioned that his data in testing the putters was uncovering something, but he didn't know what it was. Something didn't fit into the equation. So out of curiosity, I kind of hooked up with him and said, okay, let's spend the next few months trying to figure out what this stuff is. And we had a software system called Quintic, Quintic, which has only been around, 3-4 years, and is incredibly sophisticated. Trust me, I don't even go near it, but it's very, very sophisticated. And it'll measure the putter face striking the golf ball, and then measure the spin and the direction of the golf ball in, tens of thousands. You get every possible detail available on the roll of a putt. And this is where this discrepancy was coming from, because they did not understand or couldn't figure out why the Quintic data was telling them what it was telling them. And the bottom line is, and I'll just kind of cut to the chase, the steel shaft in today's putters, because the putter heads have gotten considerably heavier over the years, but the steel shaft vibrates or oscillates slightly. It's like a shimmy almost, because of the weight of the head, and the shaft isn't strong enough to protect that from happening. Well, if the shaft is doing that, then the head is doing that because they're attached. And what that means is that at the moment of impact, using a steel shaft, the putter face is never square to the target line.
Makes sense.
It's always moving one way or the other.
Makes sense.
Now, very slightly, being honest, very slightly, but enough to affect direction, consistency of rollout, and of course that will equate into some number of putts made. I always get asked, well, how many more putts will I make? And my answer is, you cannot test with human beings. The human factor is so great that the data it isn't good data.
Right.
All we know is that it works. We've got plenty of people using it, and we've tracked the response. And our shaft is a graphite with a spacer inside it at the point where the normal oscillation would take place. So it mimics that oscillation, and the shaft returns the putter face to the ball square every single time.
I'm holding just to let people know, this is for real. You were kind enough to get a hold of me and have me send one of my putters to you guys, and I'm holding it up right now in front of the camera, and I got it. I got to be honest with you, Barney, it was kind of because, I had putted with a traditional steel shaft like everybody else and never had this in my hands before. It took a little while to get used to, but by golly, Barney, once I did, I can't tell you the amount of money I've won using the shaft in my putter.
Well, just send us a percentage.
It is terrific.
And listen, it's normal. It's absolutely normal to be skeptical about this.
Yeah.
Because it's, what the heck? Steel shafts and putters have only been around for, a century or two. It's an automatic thing.
Right.
And when you tell somebody like this, they kind of, roll their eyes a little bit. Well, if you say so, so on and so forth. And unfortunately, that makes selling the product very difficult because you have to overcome this natural skepticism. But I don't put it this way. I've been involved with probably, 24 people that have switched over to the shaft. Every single one of them is like a walking testimonial. They love it.
Yeah.
Because it works for them.
It works for them, exactly. Glenn and I were talking earlier, and I want to get Glenn's view on this too, but I want to ask you first, Barney. We were talking about the scoring part of the game, which to both of us is obviously putting, and it's chipping, it's getting it up and down. What would you do, or what do you think needs to be done, Barney, to make that part of the game, we call the scoring part of the game, more sexy for golfers to practice more?
Well, I think the first thing I would have is, this is kind of idealistic, but facilities. There's just not a whole lot of places where you can go and practice, say 40 yards into the hole shots and chip shots and so on and so forth. And many of them, if they're there, they're kind of afterthoughts. So the grass isn't as good as it should be and so on and so forth. But there's another thing. There's a much more powerful impetus. I'll get off my putter track here a little bit, but the golf industry, the golf equipment industry, the definition of product improvement in the golf industry is distance. You can sell distance 1 through 9.8, and everything else comes in afterwards.
I agree.
And that's what, if you just look at the ads. I mean, look at the ads for golf clubs. It's all about, you buy this golf club, and you're going to hit the ball further.
I totally agree with you. Glenn, what's your feeling on that? I agree with Barney. I think you do. Everything is marketed towards distance now. But what would you do? I'm gonna ask Glenn. Hold on, Barney. As a PGA professional, what would you do to make the short game more sexy so your members could practice it more and shoot better numbers?
Well, I think Barney's right on track. You've got to have better facilities. And as he was talking, I'm thinking about our short game area. We've got a wonderful short game green, a chipping green, but we also got an area over there that was an afterthought. And we've got it 50, 60, 70, 80 yards, but it's kind of over in the trees, and it's really not in the prevalent part of where it should be, and it's not in front of mine.
Yeah. Barney, have you talked with or approached any tour professionals about using BGT in their putter?
Yeah, we have about, it depends on the event, of course, but we have right now, we'll have like between 6 and 10 on play.
Awesome.
But what's interesting is, people want to know who they are, and we're not allowed to give their names out.
Right.
And the reason we're not allowed to give their names out is because their agents, made us promise that we wouldn't.
Right.
Because tour players don't do stuff for free. They get paid.
Yeah.
And we don't pay. And the agents don't want the word get out that, oh my gosh, you mean it's actually possible to get something played on tour without paying for it. So our agreement has to be, yes, they're out there. And the one thing that I will tell you, because the PGA Tour keeps great stats on putting, every single one of them has got better stats with the shaft than they had before.
Interesting. That's awesome. That is.
It might be one putt in 72 holes, but in their world, that's a lot.
That is a lot because, as you know, Barney, and Glenn knows also, one putt in 36 holes could make the difference between making the cut and not making the cut.
Absolutely right.
I mean, it's absolutely huge.
We back the money for them too. We tell them, if you used last year's stats, this is how much money you would have won this week. And using our putter, this is how much money you won.
I love that. I love that. Barney, before we take our break, and you're going to hang on for us because we got a lot more for you, is in breakthrough golf technology, do you have different types of shafts, even though you have one central shaft, so to speak?
No, we have one shaft, but it fits everything.
Okay.
So I guess maybe I've answered your question is this, the shaft has different formats which will allow it to fit in any putter head, but as opposed to, let's say, a green one and a blue one or whatever, one that looks differently, no, there's one basic design.
Is the material that the shaft is made of proprietary, or can you let us know what that is?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit, I missed your question.
Is the shaft that you make, or the materials that make up the shaft, is that proprietary, or is that?
On the website, just
Okay.
breakthroughgolftech.com.
Okay.
They'll give you all kinds of much better information than I could give
Than you can.
And, better said and with diagrams and so on and so forth.
I got you. All right, Barney, hold on. We're going to step away, take another short break here on the New Vegas SANDTRAP, and when we do come back, we'll finish up with Barney Adams and Glenn Lee from TPC Summerlin. So stay with us. We're back with you right after this. Look, if you play golf, chances are you've made a fairly sizable investment buying your golf clubs. So why take a chance on having your clubs damaged or even broken on the way to your next round of golf? Here's the perfect solution, known as the golf cradle. Using the golf cradle elevates the open end of your golf bag and suspends it off the floor of your truck or SUV and locks it in place. The golf cradle prevents the chance of damaging your club as a result of sudden stops, potholes, or swerving. Its weighted base and rigid bottom ensure the golf cradle stays put. Simply place your golf bag on the golf cradle and the protection arms automatically close down to secure your bag. Then simply tighten the straps and lock it in place. Simple as making a tap-in birdie putt. They have an awesome device like the golf cradle for under $40 to protect hundreds and maybe thousands of golf equipment is a no-brainer. Check them out and order at golfcradle.com. Don't wait, your clubs will love you for it. golfcradle.com. Oh, did I mention what a great gift this would be for the golfer in your life? golfcradle.com.
Did you know that over half our population suffers from allergies? There's a new, incredible way to treat allergies that don't involve shots, sprays, pills, or drops. All you do is brush your teeth. This new revolutionary treatment for allergies is only offered by allergy care centers. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You simply go to their office and speak to one of their doctors about any allergy history you may have. Then a simple finger stick is done with a few drops of blood placed on your patient card. It is then sent out to their laboratory where it's analyzed. This state-of-the-art test analyzes for 180 potential allergens. After consultation, a prescription is sent to their pharmacy where a specialized serum is mixed with toothpaste and you simply start to brush your allergies away. It's amazing. So stop suffering with your allergies. This is great for patients of all ages, especially kids. Call Allergy Centers at 702-331-5230.
If you're like me and play golf, let's face it, you want to get better, right? Getting better at golf means taking lessons, and these days you have a whole lot to choose from when it comes to instruction. Or do you? It seems everyone and their brother teaches golf. That's why you need to know who and why you're investing your time and money with. If you really want to improve as a player, the choice is simple. PGA Tour instructor Mike Malaska, long recognized as one of the top instructors in the country, is helping players on every level, every day. The online learning center is offered by MalaskaGolf.com. Mike's common sense approach to learning will help you overcome the issues you face on the course every time you play. Simply put, in order to play better golf, you need to understand it. Named National PGA Teacher of the Year, Top 100 Teacher of the Year for over 20 years running, worldwide director of the Nicklaus Golf Academies, well, you get the picture. Mike is awesome. If you're serious about improving your game, get started now. Check out MalaskaGolf.com and see for yourself what this program will do for you and your game. MalaskaGolf.com. Since its much anticipated opening in 2008, Coyote Springs Golf Club has earned the reputation as one of the most memorable golf experiences you can have. And why not? This Jack Nicklaus signature course offers 18 signature holes along with some of the best playing conditions found anywhere. With its wide rolling fairways, deep bunkers, and large green complexes, it truly makes this course a challenge for every level of player. Trust me. Coyote Springs has been rated in the top 100 greatest public golf courses and ranked as one of the top places to play every year since its opening. An incredible practice area, short game area for pitching, chipping, and bunker practice area will help get you on your way to a great round. Located 50 miles from the heart of the Las Vegas Strip, Coyote Springs offers the ultimate in desert golf in a beautiful rural setting. Combine that with a fully stocked pro shop, full service restaurant, all adds up to a great golf experience. Seeing is believing. Call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 to book your tee time. So if you want to play and experience one of Nicklaus's best designs, call Coyote Springs at 877-742-8455 or check them out online at coyotesprings.com. All right, welcome back, everybody, to kind of on the back nine, if you will. A few more rolls left on the new Vegas SANDTRAP. Hope you're enjoying watching the show. We love bringing it to you, of course. I'm Dennis Silvers, your host, along with Glenn Lee from TPC Summerlin, and we're on the phone with Mr. Barney Adams, formerly of Adams Golf. Barney, how did wildly successful, how did Tight Lies Fairway Woods come about?
Well, I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
You don't have enough time to listen to me babble about the whole thing. And that's why I wrote the book, by the way.
The wow factor.
I would get asked all the time, you're the one outlier that, made a difference in the business, blah, blah, blah. How'd you do it? And it was such a long answer, I ended up writing a book about it. But the answer to your question specifically, I was a club fitter. And the reason this is in the early 90s now when people did not do club fitting. And the reason that I did it was because I was making clubs at the time. That was my passion. And they were good. I'm no blowing about it. They were good clubs. And I couldn't give them away because I was a nobody. Nobody's going to pay money for some jerk like me when they could get a brand name. So I offered and I learned how to club fit, and I offered the service of custom fitted clubs. And what I learned was that when I was selling a service rather than a product, I was much more successful. And that's how it got started. And when I worked with people as club fitter, they all had the same question. Of course, they wanted to know how far they're going to hit the ball. I knew that. But in watching them, their problem was the long second shot off the fairway.
Right.
That they either tried to lift the ball up in the air and topped it, or just manipulated the club so hard that the ball went left or right or no place. It was by far the least proficient part of their games on the whole. I looked at the clubs that I had for them to do that, and they weren't very good. So I went around the industry, visually, and decided that nobody had anything that was really, focused on that particular shot. And after observing people and working with a while, the shape of the Tight Lies just kind of appeared in my mind, so to speak. And when we got some samples back, I gave them to some of my customers to hit, my club fitting customers, and they loved it. It was great. So I thought, well, that takes care of that. That's over with. Now I can have this in my club fitting procedure, so to speak.
Right.
Except for the fact that the club became so popular that it took over everything we were doing and just, changed our whole operating plan.
Obviously, and as they say, it was wildly successful, and the rest is history. Would you kind of frame it, Barney, as maybe saying the prelude to the hybrids today?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer you this way. It's been written that I'm the father of the hybrids, or I did this about hybrids, or blah, blah, blah. two things. One is what we did, because I recognized that the hybrid was an integral part of that issue that most golfers had, the longer second shot. So rather than having hybrids be standalone clubs, we designed them to fit into the bag. And now here again, I'm going to bore you with more detail. But the way a set of clubs was made in those days is you designed a 4-iron and an 8-iron. Those are the two transition clubs. You go ask any experienced golfer, you show them a new set of clubs, and the first club they'll pick up will be the 8-iron.
Right. Because
that's a transition from the mid-irons down to the short irons.
Correct.
And if you design the 4 and the 8, especially with the computer programs, the rest of the set would fill out, so to speak. So it was blended into the 4 and 8. And I got thinking about it, and I thought to myself, this is wrong. I mean, I know I was the only guy that was thinking that way at the time, but to me, because again, I'm a range guy, if you have let's say your longest shot that you're capable of hitting off the ground is pick a number, 170 yards, we'll see. Could be 270, I don't care what it is.
Okay.
You want a club for that shot.
Right.
And then if you want your clubs to have gaps between them, distance gaps, which is kind of like 10 or 12 yards, then you want a club that's designed for something that's 10 or 12 yards shorter. It does not have to be an identical copy of its predecessor, and that was my whole point. As far as I was concerned, you could have a whole stack full of golf clubs that didn't look like they were the same set, but I looked at it from the parabola that you were trying to establish of golf shots back into the clubs rather than from the clubs into the golf shots.
Right. No.
So from that aspect, yeah, we had an influence.
That-
I'll also tell you that in 1870 there was a set of golf clubs called the Troon clubs, which were 3 wooden hybrid, frankly, just pure hybrid-looking clubs and 4 irons. So as old as I am, I do not go back to 1870.
I love it. I've got 2 questions for you before we finish up, Barney. Of course, we have your we had some problems with Zoom. No problem. We got a great picture of you on screen. Do you still have a full beard?
Yeah, I do.
Because you look badass, man. You look very badass with that beard.
I had back surgery, and I didn't shave before the back surgery, and I thought, well, I wasn't going to shave until I had the back surgery. Then I had the back surgery, and then I thought, well, I'm not going to shave until I feel better, until I go through all the therapy and all that crap. And then I did that, and I just kept it.
No, you look absolutely great. Let me ask you this, and I talk about this on my other shows with a lot of teaching professionals, with a lot of club makers such as yourself, so on and so forth. Granted today, Barney, and I want Glenn to jump in on this as well, granted today the ball technology is unbelievable. The club technology is unbelievable because in my view, they don't build any bad golf clubs today. But with all that being said, Barney, it's my opinion and the opinion of others that the average weekend recreational player, the mid-handicapper, doesn't come close to taking advantage of the club technology that's offered today in clubs. You agree or not?
I would say I would agree with an explanation, so to speak, because especially from the teaching standpoint, and I worked downrange from Hank Haney for several years. So, in fact, I went through a teaching, let's say, credentializing procedure because I was pretty sure that the golf company was going to fold any day, and I needed something to do to have an income. So I was very close to the teaching side of it. And I am not a fan of the way that golf is taught today in general. I know there's always all kinds of specific instances, but my first thought in giving somebody a golf lesson is what are they capable of doing? What does their body allow them to do? Mm-hmm. Because if you tell me, Barnyard, you're not making, that's what they call me, by the way, you're not making a full turn. Well, guess what? The only way I can make a full turn is if somebody, strapped me to something and then put another set of straps around my shoulders and then twisted it back till I was in agony. My body's not going to do it.
Yeah, right.
So don't don't give me a lesson to improve my shoulder turn when, in fact, my shoulder turn is restricted by age, arthritis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of that is teaching people how to get the maximum out of what they have.
Right.
And then turn, of course, the equipment that they have.
Exactly.
And quite frankly, the golf industry will shoot me for this one. 90% of the golfers carry way more clubs than they need anyway.
I totally agree
They
with
will
you.
need about 7.
I totally
And
agree
I'm not
with you.
talking about super high handicaps.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I totally agree.
Because the only way you need all those clubs, it's based on club head speed. It's physics. How far the ball will go. Well, but we're not talking about those guys. We're talking about guys that don't hit it very far.
Right.
Therefore, they don't need that many clubs.
Exactly right. Real quick, Barney, before I let you go, you're going to be showing at the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando at the end of January?
No, not this year. It's too
Okay.
it's too early in our game. We've got product that we're selling, but we're just getting started, and the show is just too early for us.
Okay, I got you. Well, the phone number, your website for Breakthrough Golf Technology has been up the whole time. I hope people will call it, because I'm telling you from personal experience, it's done wonders for my putting. And I'm telling you, folks, you want to putt better, you've got nothing to lose. Give this a shot, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Barney, thank you so much for spending all of your time with us. We really enjoyed it. We'd love to circle back with you in the near future and have you on again, as we always love talking to you.
Listen, us old people got nothing but time.
Thanks, Barney.
Okay.
We'll talk to you. So long.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Barney Adams, everybody, just a great guy. But I want to get to you before we finish up.
Sure.
What do you think about that? Do you think the average player is taking advantage of the technology that is in these clubs today?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think they are at all, and I think a lot of it has to do, they've got all the technology, but they still need, and I think Barney touched on a little bit, from a club fitting standpoint, they need to be fit for the clubs.
Yeah.
They need instruction. They need to make sure that the club is traveling on the right path.
Right.
And that it's going to be conducive to solid ball contact.
Totally.
It's all about hitting the ball in the center of the club. If you're not hitting the center of the
That's where
club,
it's at.
you don't take advantage of the
That's
technology.
exactly very, very well said. All right, before we finish up, we have a new segment that we're introducing on the New Vegas Sand Trap, and it is a segment that we just came up with called the Golfers Forecast. Get it? F-O-R-E? I thought of that.
I love that.
But anyway, here's the forecast for Las Vegas for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a little chilly for us, but not bad. You could still bundle out there and warm up. But consider this, folks. If you were in Billings, Montana, you can't even get the tee in the ground, for crying out loud. It's 36 degrees. Come on, so you need to come here. You'll get the tee in the ground. You put on a little sweater, have a little hot chocolate, and it's worth the trip.
Absolutely. The weather's going to be fantastic.
The weather's going to be awesome.
And it always is.
It's going to be awesome. Anyway, Glenn, thank you so much for
Pleasure.
coming on the show.
Thank you
You're
so much,
welcome
Dennis.
back
Thank you.
anytime. And if you are new to the Valley, you're looking for a great private club to join the network, man. TPC Summerlin, 256-0111. Ask for the man. Ask for the membership director. Tell him Dennis sent you. Not going to get you a damn thing, but anyway,
You never know.
it sounded good. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for our first edition of the New Vegas Sand Trap, brought to you by the Allergy Care Centers. And Fairways and Greens, everybody. We'll see you right back here. Same place, same time next week. So long.